Hello everyone, and welcome to the UT Builders Thursday Night General Hangout. Thursday's Hangouts are for the general discussion on mall railroading that we all can set a topic to discuss for the night. My name's Johnny Reb from Southeast Rails. Thursday's Hangouts are the proud sponsor of the UTMallBuilders.com, EMAG, UT Mall Builders live show, and the Tuesday night presentations. You can go to UTMallBuilders.com, and there you can click on the EMAG, which will give you a drop down. If you hadn't already, you can sign up for email notification to get the EMAG when it comes out. It just came out last week, so another good magazine. It's on art, people's drawings of trains. It's been a good magazine. We also had the live show last week. UTMallBuilders.com. You check the schedule for the live shows and Tuesday night hangouts. This past Saturday was the live show. Big Bill was out of state on a commitment that he had, so we kind of did a little change up. Barry hosted and I did the directing. We had Steve Montgomery on the show, and that was a really good show. Steve's really always a good one to have on. We was talking about his layout changes that he was making on that. We just had the Tuesday night presentation this week. That was Barry's tech show. He and Mike discussed workbenches. They had a few guests on, Andy, Miles Hale, a few others in there showing off workbenches, work areas, talking about them. And that was a good show too. So I want to say thanks to everybody for joining tonight's show. Let's see who all we got. We got Mr. Newcastle on the panel, Jim in Michigan, Jason, Scott, Mr. Hawks, and Mr. Dave on the panel tonight. Yep, Q&A's working. Got a couple of tests there. Well, let everybody know Q&A is up and working, so if you got any questions, comments, be sure and type them in the Q&A so we can get them asked and hopefully get them answered for you. Mr. Hawks, you there yet?
Yes, I am.
I know I asked you and we talked about it last night. Would you mind kind of repeating the process you're doing there on your track work, how you're printing the track work out, and how you're using it to lay the court?
Oh, you mean all my paperwork?
Yeah, your paperwork.
Let me try to get the camera closer.
All right. Just had a couple more join in, Mark and Lee.
What's up, everybody? John, how you doing?
How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing all right. I'm just prepping my room for my model railroad here.
Oh, good.
I'll pan the camera around, getting ready to paint my walls.
Oh, okay.
Everybody could probably hear my little one in the background, but I guess that's what it's all about too, right?
Yeah.
Get the little ones involved too.
Hell yeah.
It's the small switching layout you wanted to build. This one.
Yes, sir. The one I discussed with you about. Yes, yep. I have not changed that. I am going to build a small switching layout, shelf layout actually, which I guess what anybody would call it would be a shelf layout, just around the room. Of course, I have my Mojave Desert that I've been planning for a very long time, but that's still in the works for the future. For my retirement, actually. But right now I'm just going to build me a switching layout to satisfy my itch for the model railroading needs. So,
Yeah. All righty. About ready, Mr. Hawks?
oh, you haven't started yet?
Oh, we started.
Oh, okay.
2-3 minutes. Just
All
trying to
right.
set up my computer so I can be close to it.
Okay. All right. Curtis just came in on the Q&A. Hi, Curtis. How you doing?
One thing is nice about building a small switching layout when you're planning or building your bigger layout is you can test techniques you're going to use, and you can build the buildings you want to build for your next layout.
Yeah, it's a good thing you brought that up. That's one of the things I had in mind. There is a few structures I'm going to put on this layout that's going to be on the future one. And I am going to test a few different techniques that I've never tried or probably anybody else has tried and do things a little differently. So if I guess you say screw up, it don't matter because I'm building a bigger one and better one later on.
Yeah, that's one idea that John Allen pretty much that's his kind of like that was one of his ideas, I think. His
Uh,
original small layout.
Everybody talks about that guy. I've never heard of him or read any of his books. Seriously, I never have.
Yeah, he passed away years ago. He's
Yeah.
he's what you might call a legend now.
Yep.
Oh, okay. He's back in your days, huh, John?
Back in the 70s and 80s, he was really popular.
Well,
Well,
60s too.
I was born in '79. I didn't even know what model railroading was when I was born. So.
There's still a lot of his books out there.
Yeah, and you can also just look up John Allen operations, and it'll just come up. There's like a whole website about his operations on his layout and stuff. Different stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I think I'm doing fine without it, but I'll give it a.
Well, he's worth looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of like forefather of some of the stuff we do nowadays.
Like the mirror and all the other a lot of different techniques. Like
Well, I'm a big fan of the L girder bench work, so.
Pretty much after John Allen, then there's Alan McCollin, and he pretty much fine-tuned everything.
Well, see, who started the L girder bench work thing? Was Lynn Westcott, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm going to look right now. Hold on a second. Give me a few seconds because I got the old first book, Started Bench Work. Yep, Lynn Westcott. Let me show you right here.
What year was that?
I'll show you the book real quick. That was one of the first books that came out from Lynn Westcott, which was $5.95, if you want to know how old it was. 1979. First printing, 1979. Second printing, 1980. Third printing, 1984, and so on and so on. Lynn Westcott. L girder bench work.
Huh.
It's a good book to read. I found this on, I think it was Amazon or eBay. I don't remember which one it was, but it's a good book. Teach you how to do some nice. I'll show you. Oh, I won't show you too many pages because probably copyright reasons, but
yeah,
I mean, it's all black and white. Let's see if I get in that screen yet.
Yeah, you got it.
It's all pretty much black and white. So, you know.
Black and white, huh?
Black and white.
I was just going to say something about that.
Black and orange, you know. Black, white, and orange. It's an old book. This came out in it was published 1979. This book here I got by Lynn Westcott. $5.95 back then, but I think I paid $10 for it today. But you know, it's worth getting. Because then I got the kind of the updated one, a version of it for a model railroader. They talk a little about of L-girder bench work in this one, which is $20. So I mean, you get the old one for $10, and this one versus $20. So
Yeah.
you know,
Did
I
you
just
uh, do you have the Tony Custard's books, the operation books?
I think I have a few. Let me see here.
There's 3.
On operations, yes, I do. Actually, I do on operations. Let me see if I can find it.
Updated version or the old version?
I have realistic model railroad operations second edition.
Yep, I have
Tony
that
Custer's.
too, and I also
That's
have the
a
original one, how to
that's a
operate.
that's a very good book to read. The second edition one on
Yeah.
operations to get into the way bills and things of that nature. If anybody's interested in that, which I haven't gotten that far on my model railroad yet, so that's been put on the back burner.
Anybody is into operations that just getting in just wants to know how everything like paperwork and stuff moves, not how to host operating session or anything, just how operations is set up. I would get the second update version than the previous two. Tony Custer and the one before that. I got it right here, actually.
I have a real while you're looking. I have a really good tip since this is open discussion tonight. Anybody that's and this has been very useful. And I can't remember the YouTuber that suggested this. He does N-scale, I do know that. And this is a book I got. And you could get a whole bunch of these in different areas as SPVs. I don't know if you could show that, John.
Yeah.
As SPVs, a railroad atlas.
There you go. All right.
I got the California and Nevada version. You gotta get them from all the way from Canada down to all of North America, pretty much. You can find these on Amazon or eBay. You just got to make sure you put SPV's Compressive Railroad Atlas in there, and you could buy these. These are really, really handy if you're doing even from back in the day to today. It's even modern day. Great, great information. It even tells you about the railroad line, well, who started it and who ended it and what year and where it was before and where it is today and what they're doing with it today and in the future.
What's that, about 50 pages or so?
This one here,
That's about 100.
yeah, it's about 104 altogether with including the index.
Yeah.
This is all California and Nevada, and it even shows you um, branch lines, main lines, even old logging lines from back in the day, from when they used to take steel from, we have old steel places out here in California where they don't, the lines are there, but they don't use them no more, and they show them to where they go to the steel mills and so on and so forth. I mean, this is just great.
And Dave's sitting over there going, and now you say something about it that he's got in his building.
Yeah, this is very, very, very great information. Very great information on this.
SPVs.
Yes, I've learned a lot from my Mojave Desert line from just, I just go out there and stand there and look at it, and I get this here, and it's told me a lot. I didn't know Tehachapi Pass was owned by SP, and it was. ATSF never owned it. SP started the line, and then it was bought out by ATSF, and I think it was somewhere in the early 80s. And then they took over, and now it's the BNSF line with UP rights today. So, I learned all that from this book right here. So there's a lot of information on this book. So anybody that's interested in learning their prototype stuff about the railroad, that's a good book to get, man. It's really worth. I think for this book, I think I paid $30 for it. To be honest with you. You might find it cheaper somewhere else. I don't know, but I bought it brand new. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For like researching on my railroad because it's kind of a little bit more. It's known more about the modern day version. Though back in the day, it's a little bit harder, even with the helper service, busy main line on the one line, and then another busy single track railroad. I started 2 Facebook groups, and I found a lot of information through that and Google combined too.
Yeah.
What version of the book do you have? Because I just got the Western version on YouTube. I mean, on eBay right now.
Yeah, they do got 2 editions on it. I got the I got California and Nevada.
This says
Let's see it.
Western edition, West Canada edition.
Yeah, you just got to keep searching for it. They got many of them. They got Canada and the United States. So you
Okay,
just got to
thank you.
keep. Yeah, I can't help you on that part. You got to do some research on looking that up. There's many of them though. It's actually this company is actually from let me see here. They're from the UK. That's a UK company from England. This is published in England. So yeah, I didn't even know. I was trying to think of the guy that actually suggested it. He was doing N scale. He's actually a new guy that started doing this model railroading. He's. I know he lives in. I want to say he lives in Maryland or New Jersey or something. I know he's doing a New Jersey line. I think it was. He's gotten pretty popular. I'm sure he's a firefighter. I can't think
Joe
of
G.
who.
Joe G.
I don't know if it's here. Let me see if I could.
North Central Jersey Conrail.
He's calling, he's doing a Conrail. He's calling it a
Yep.
North Secondary or something like that, or
North Central Jersey Conrail is what it is.
Yeah.
Joe. Yeah, he's a great guy.
yes, he's the one that suggested the book to me. So I won't take no credit. He's the one that could take credit for that. He's the one that turned me on to that book. So, and he actually had the book for over there, and he mentioned it, and I looked mine up, and it took me a couple days to find what I needed. So. Yeah, they're out there though, and I found many of them from Canada to here, so they're all over the place, and they're different regions. And then they have a first edition and a second edition, and you definitely want to get the second edition because they're more updated. If you want like Dave, he's doing an old school type layout, so he might want to get the first edition for his error.
So if we're talking about YouTube channels, Dave. The steel mill. There's a new steel mill YouTube page. He's always made YouTube video, Facebook videos. He used to do it on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, that's Dave.
Steel mill, N scale steel.
Oh no, not in scale. Dave's HO, I think, if he's even there.
Yeah, I'm saying to Dave. There's another steel mill modeler on YouTube now. You might want to look up. He talks a lot about operations too on his railroad a little bit. It's called N Scale Steel. Look him up.
All right. Well, I tell you what. I want to catch up the Q&A here, and then I think Mr. Hawks is about ready.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it, John.
What he was doing. Curtis has put up the link in the Q&A for those books. So if anybody's interested, it's in the Q&A here. Curtis also said back when y'all first started talking eBay, don't say eBay. Jim will have me spending more money. LOL. And Bruce has got up here, find John Allen's books, new or used, via Amazon through eBay. They are a very good read and have given me several ideas. And that is DDA 40 X-Fan. All right, Mr. Hawks, are you set up and ready to go?
Yeah, I am.
Alrighty, I'll get you presented here. All right, floor is all yours.
Okay, so you wanted me to start from scratch, in other words, where the paperwork and
Yeah, just that you printed out
all that
the
stuff, right?
track and laid it down so that you could lay your cork in the right place.
Yeah, what I did is Bill, the track planner, sent me the plan, oh well, the file, so I could print out myself all the track plans. And I've been printing it one-to-one, only the tracks, and by sections. Like maybe, let's say this part here is let's say 20 feet by 3 feet wide, and I lay all my paperwork, and it's pretty much taped, so I know exactly where to put my road bed. And then what I do is basically just cut down the middle of the track. So I know where to put at least one side of the road bed. Whoops. I didn't want to do this part yet, so I'll just stop
Oh,
here.
that's okay. Well, you could have just talked about how you did that.
Yeah, I was just going to do just one set here, basically to show. And all the rest is still tape, so I don't want to move it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just glue one side against the other piece, against the paper. And I'll just use a ruler to make sure that everything is straight, because I want to keep, this is my yard, so I want to make sure all my track is set straight. Then I just glue it and use thumbtacks to hold it down. And then I'll just cut the other piece, the other side, and then glue my road bed. Now, since everything is down the middle, it's easier to set up my track, where I'll just put, there's little holes in the tracks. So
Yeah.
I just make sure that it's down the middle. So all my tracks are straight, and basically it follows exactly what the plan looks like.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does. It looks like
So I
that
do
makes
that.
it a lot easier than trying to measure, from the fascia out to each rail and put a center line on the
Oh,
plywood.
oh, definitely. I first started by measuring, and when you come to curves and all that, it's a lot of work. And
Yeah.
if you just have the piece of paper just taped down, the yard is pretty easy because it's one flat piece. But most of my track work, for example, the helix here, what I did is I basically cut about 3 inches on either side of the track, the entire stretch, let's say this entire stretch, cut the plywood, and just still use the piece of paper just to glue my road bed on it. So even for the helix, it was all, I used all the paper to do the helix. The entire layout was all the paper. I just make sure to eliminate all the buildings, the ground, the everything except the tracks.
Yeah.
So when I print, I only print track. It saves a lot of paper, saves a lot of ink.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, the thing about it is printing it out on paper.
it's a lot of printing, though.
Yeah. Printing it out on paper, though, it gives you opportunity of, do you need to slide it to one side or the other a little bit, too, to get it like you want it.
Yeah, and if you have to make certain changes, for example, when I get here, now I had problems trying to fit it right, because right here there's a track which is going into the helix, and I know that it's 3.5 inches from the wall. So at one point I'm just going to have to move this just a little, maybe half an inch to the right, So it's not going to affect much, but with the paper, I'm able to set it right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That way you can shift it a little bit as you go.
Yes.
Now I have
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a suggestion. If you want to screen share me.
All right, hang on. Where you at?
You know what? It'd probably be easier if I screen. Do you see my track plan?
No, you got your camera on layout.
Yeah. Undo it, and I'll screen share myself. It'd be the easier way to do it.
Well, I'll still have to present you, make you full screen.
Right. There. Now you see my track plan?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have a corner that you can start off on, like my yard was right here in the corner. And what I found, especially with Bill's plans, is using a mechanical ruler. I was able to measure in real life how many inches it was using the plan that Bill gave me. Using the mechanical ruler, the end of this turnout to this wall, and the end of this turnout to this wall. And then on my layout, I transferred that point. So I knew that turnout had to go there. And just by laying that one turnout, that allowed me to do my yard and work these turnouts and do all these turnouts all off of that one turnout. And then a point I wanted to make about the curves, I took, again, the mechanical measurements from this wall to this dot right here, and from this wall to this dot, and I made a mark. And I laid a piece of flat track down there. Now all I had to do was take my flex track and bend it. Well, it would have been on this one here, I'm sorry. Take my flex track and just bend it from here to here, and I'd have had a perfect radius. I didn't have to measure my radiuses at all.
Yeah.
So for those that can work off of two straights before they get to their curve, you can put your two straights down first. Your curves will follow naturally. So I just wanted to kind of point that out a little bit. But that's all I wanted to share, because I've already done all this myself.
Yeah, Ron Gleiss has put up here, I used a similar technique when I laid out my track plan, and also on my dad's PRR layout, Pennsylvania. This video shows the printout of my dad's yard engine service facility, and he's got the link on down in the Q&A there. Thank you, Ron.
It's just an easier way of doing it. No measurements, no making arcs. Yeah, if your plan is just pretty much square.
Yeah, well, and I printed mine out too. So I mean, I did do that, but it was easier for me to just take the measurements. That way, I knew I was exactly where Bill, the track planner, had placed that turnout. You know what I mean? Because you lay the paper down, sometimes you can be off a little bit or whatever. So I just took the measurement off that one corner and then worked from there.
You see, I would have printed that corner you were talking about from one end of the curve to the other end of the curve. I would have printed those three tracks from the wall to the edge of the table, and I would have put it right in the corner, and I can start from there.
Well, I found that my printer wasn't, for some reason, printing exactly the exact, because I printed mine out and laid it down, and I was using one of those pattern wheels that women use to transfer patterns when they're sewing, and transferred my layout from the printed to I run that pattern wheel down the middle of the layout paper like what you've got there, because I'm using styrofoam, so all my center track lines are there for me. But I made sure that I measured from the wall and over, made sure I was exactly where the plan called for. Because when I laid the paper down, for some reason, the outer main didn't line up right, and it might have been the way I was laying, or I'm not sure what happened, but so by measuring, I knew I was exact anyway. So
Mm-hmm. Didn't you also
I'll show
use
you
the
what
ponch?
a sheet looks like. I don't know if you can see. Like, there's little markers,
yeah,
which when I put the
yeah.
sheets together,
Well, they didn't work for me. The things weren't lining up right. That's what I was
uh,
saying. Yeah, and yeah, I used a Ponce wheel. I called it a pattern wheel.
well, I've got to say, I've got a laser printer, so it's probably much easier and faster also because I need it for work. So I was
Yeah.
able to do it that way. But if I had an inkjet or something like that, I probably wouldn't have used it. It would have taken too long.
Well, I had it print out so it didn't print out all that black.
Yeah.
I forget what I did so that it didn't have all that black in there because that wasted a lot of ink. But my first one that I was printing out did that, and I did some kind of setting so it didn't do all that. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I mean, printers vary between their settings anyway, between
Right.
brands and grades of printers and all. So,
Yeah, well, for some reason I don't know why, but my alignment marks didn't. I don't know. I didn't have it printed edge to edge or something. Something wasn't coming out right on it. I don't remember what it was, but
yeah, I've done the same thing with Fast Tracks templates where they printed off on 2 sheets. Then I printed them out, measured the scale. I was dead on the scale, but I couldn't get them to line up.
Yeah, I think there's a check mark you got to put in any rail when you're printing. Because at first I remember I unchecked it and I didn't have any markers, and I thought that I would put the sheets side by side and it didn't fit.
right. No, yeah, you have to check. I had alignment marks there,
Hmm.
but they just didn't line up properly.
Yeah.
It was just and it's weird. I can't unless I had them, which I don't. I got rid of all that paperwork because I had a big book of it, but unless I had the paperwork here, I'd have to show you to get you to understand what I was looking at. But
Yeah,
it just
Ron.
wouldn't line up right.
Yeah, Ron said when printing, make sure the margins are turned off. I'm not sure if it's the same on all planning software.
Yeah, and like I say, it might have been there was margins on there. In fact, I know there was margins on there
Yeah,
because
because
you had to slide one sheet up underneath the other sheet, and it was real hard to get them to line up the marks. They weren't right on the edges of the paper where they would be easier to line up. But like I say, anyways, is the main thing when you're laying down new track work and you're going by a plan. If you measure your turnouts and you pin all your turnouts in, then all you got to do is make your straight track connect all your turnouts, and you're good to go. Everything's going to fit basically, except for S curves and special track like that. But with Bill's tracks, it plans anyways.
Yeah, yeah, because Ron was using this. Ron Close was using X-Track CAD. He removed some margins in it.
I forget what. Oh, he uses Eddie Rail. That's right.
Yeah, Bill Track Planner uses AnyRail.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one of my layouts so I can open it up in AnyRail and show you how to select a section. There it is.
Well, I appreciate that demo, Mr. Hawks. That was good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because it's always good to show different people's methods to the madness. Good. What works for one doesn't work for somebody else.
Exactly.
Try and get as many out there as we can. Well, while Jim's doing that, what you been up to, Jason? Working coal cars?
No, I've been working on a tank car. Let's see where it is. I've been working on it. It's an undecorated one, and it's going to be made into the ADM tank car. Oh, there it is. It's going to take me a while. It's an Atlas kit. Then we're going to have to redo the stirrups on it and all that. I don't like how they were made.
You get good at stirrups, aren't you?
Yeah. If I can get it out.
John, do you know how to turn the layers on and off?
You gotta click on the layers thing and then just go in and uncheck them.
Right, okay.
And it should turn them off.
Yeah, I know how to do it. I just didn't know if I wanted to present it to show you how to do it. Wasn't sure if you had gotten that far in it yet.
Yeah. No, you can just go in and uncheck them.
Right.
Actually, it's not the tank car. I'm not liking the stirrups. It's the I got a grain car. The stirrups, I don't like how they were built.
Huh.
I think I'm pretty much close to this tank car yet. Getting it done. I got a couple things I need to do to it.
Hey, I'll get you presented. There you go.
Yeah, I can see. I got a couple placards that needs to get on and all that.
Yeah.
And then I got to paint it all black. And then think first you do a dull coat on it. Then you put your decals on. Then you do 2 layers of gloss coat over it
Huh.
to make the shine for the tankers, because they have like a shine to it.
Uh-huh.
They're brand new.
Oh, so you're modeling that as a brand new tanker then?
Yeah, it'll be fairly brand new.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to take me a while. I had to take a break on it.
Real fast. Lee, I don't know about from there, but from this angle here, that pole's getting awfully close to the camera.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I'm screen sharing that.
Okay.
That's all right. Don't worry about it, John. You're too far away for it to hit you.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Jim, you presented.
All right, just like you're going to crop a picture, just left click and drag the sections of track that you want to print. And then go up to File and Print. And then right here, ratio, make sure you set it 1:1. Click right here for Suppress Empty Pages. Click here for Selections. And there's your
Uncheck
print alignment markers. You don't want your date and time on there, but there's the print your alignment markers. But you make sure you got to print selection.
Yeah.
So it only prints the area that you put into the that box that you dragged open.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1:1, of course, is important, and the suppress empty pages is important. Although some people like the empty pages so they know where you know, starting in a corner and it's an empty page, and it helps them. Like I say, I just measured, so I knew exactly where it was at. But all right, I just wanted to show you how to highlight that track.
All right, appreciate it. Anybody in the Q&A that's got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in. You back, Scott?
Yes, sir.
What you doing tonight?
Watching glue dry.
Okay, you're having a lot of fun then.
Oh yeah, blast. Now I start glue down my last piece of styrofoam on the upper deck. So now it's just a waiting game.
Yeah.
I'm watching glue dry, or waiting for glue to dry, and he's waiting for walls to dry.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if Lee checked with his wife first before he started painting that room.
Well, I guess since it's
What happened, John?
I just made the comment, I wonder if you checked with your wife before you started painting a different color in that room.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is all preparation for my layout, and she's a-okay with it.
Yeah.
She, you know what? To be honest with you, she's really pretty supportive, and she actually suggested me to do the entire room blue, a sky blue color for the layout, and I'm like, I said, well, no, I said that'd be a great idea, but that's not what I want to put a valance around, top of my layout and stuff. So,
Yeah.
so I just want to paint the walls before I actually start building it, because I'm gonna put 2x2s and then the L girder bench work. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's okay with it. I had to buy her thing to keep her happy here recently. So as long as you keep the wife happy, she'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not happy yet. I got to get the layout done. Good point, though. You guys heard that? Yeah, but yeah, no, she actually suggested to do the entire room blue, and I was like, no, that's not what I was really wanting, but
Yeah.
but we're actually painting our whole house this color, but I just need to do the room first before I start building the layout.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm showing it, just for everybody out there. You gotta prep before you actually start building the layout. Sometimes, in my case, I gotta prep and then build my layout. Once the wall's done, construction will start. I got all the lumber downstairs and ready to go, and I just need to get this finished and then bring it up here and start mounting it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing on John's, is putting 2x2s up around the walls. Well, he's already done that, so we got 2x2s already in place.
So you're gonna do the L girder bench work on that layout?
On the peninsula, yes, we will. We're reusing John's table work. Ray was a friend of mine. He was with me today. Showed him what we were doing, and I asked him if he'd just give me a hand on it so I can go ahead and get it done. So we started doing measurements and stuff, and went out to the barn, got some of the tables out, started laying it out, marking them, getting them ready to cut.
Not yet.
And they'll go up, but the peninsula will be L girder, because we'll be running out of his old bench work by that time.
Here. Put that down. Yeah. Sorry, I got my little one here bugging me to. Come here. Come on, go over here and get all over the carpet. Come on. Well, you say you want to help here? Come on, show everybody. You're showing the whole world. Okay, go dip the brush then. Go ahead. Go dip it. Yeah, you can use that one. Dip it and go paint the bottom right there. There you go. Go paint the bottom down there. Mom's going to be home soon, so it's all your fault.
Yeah.
You got to love them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, why she paint the handrail out there?
What the? Nah. Don't tell me that. Come on now. That was wrong, man. That was wrong.
Well, she was over there with the paintbrush.
No, over here. Come over here.
See, told you.
Come over here. Down there at the bottom right there. No, come on, over here. Down there at the bottom. Right there. See down there? See, I need it right there. I need the paint right there. Yeah. Oh, my God. Your mom's going to kill me. She did get the handrail, too. Man. Who said that? That was your fault. You jinxed it. I'm getting off online now. Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, dude over there. Anyways. That's all right. Ain't nothing that can't be fixed.
Yeah, soap and water to take it off as long as you got latex.
Yeah, it's a laminated type railing, so my wife knows how to get that off. She just ain't gonna like the news when she gets home from work and what? I gotta do what?
Well, it's your daughter that did it.
She's you were gonna paint the room for your model railroad, not I wasn't expecting to get involved in it.
Yeah.
Fun. You know what though? I have to say this is better than my garage.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it was 100. I think it got up to 109 finally from earlier. I left earlier to Home Depot to get this paint and it said 102, and that was 9 o'clock this morning my time. So anything's better than outside work.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Dave was getting ready to fix supper and all. It was his night to do that, so he's kind of busy.
No, I'm done.
How you doing?
Yeah, I've been sitting here listening to all you guys, so I already made that. It's in the microwave for the wife, and I'm golden.
You working on anything right now, Dave?
The only thing I am doing is let's see if this works. Yeah, I don't know if you. Let's see. You'll have to screen share it, John, or present it.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, you guys, I'm sure you guys remember my bridge with my clouds rattle can deal. Got tired of looking at blue backdrop and icebergs, as some people call them.
You're not going to let me live that down.
Hey, I still got icebergs on my Helix cover, as you see, you know. So, but yeah, we decided to start doing a little bit of backdrop painting to start, you know, bringing out some coloring and messing around with some, as some people call it, dab painting. So, this little blue piece here is no longer there.
Yeah.
So, but just, and there's where that other picture was, where the bridge is. So now I just need to finish painting where I'm gonna have the water coming in for this river right here. Um, and as the brush loaded up, I just dumped it all into the plaster cloth, just to get it some coloring. So, but yeah, this is what impressed me the most. I was just messing around a little bit and screwed up here at the top, and I wasn't happy with it, and I just took the brush and sort of smoothed it over, and brush accidentally fell out of my hand, and then it went this way, and I'm like, oh. So I'm like, how am I gonna fix it? I was like, well, let's just smooth it out, and hey, it'll work for clearing of the field, in between the tree lines.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
That's looking good.
Yeah, it's slowly getting there. That took me about 3.5 hours to get wrapped around about 25 feet of backdrop, but I'm still not done because I still have to put all the highlights in along the floor at the tree line. I got to, and there's still a bunch more to put on this, but I have to let this dry overnight, so I'll work on it tomorrow night and over the weekend while the wife's working. So, but yeah, it's slowly coming around, and I'm working, like right now, I'm working on a what is this? Engineer's office from Walters, so that way I have some sort of an office for my steel mill. So, but yeah, it's wife wasn't too happy when I sent her the photo of what I did, and so that's why I'm like, okay, hurry up, get this done before she comes home. Then I'll mute myself. But other than that, that's about it with everything that's going on in my personal life right now. So I'm lucky I got that done.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have a toothache more often because that actually came around better than I expected it to.
Yeah.
So
my son's having his surgery Tuesday. He had to quit taking everything that he was taking to help him get through the pain.
Oh.
Now that he's quit taking it, I got home this afternoon. His gout is raging.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's not going to have a fun weekend.
No. No. Now I got to figure out on all these backdrops how I'm going to incorporate orange, red, and yellow trees because I want to do a fall scene. Now that I see how it is with the green and that, I'm going to go over top of it with fall colors, or try to, and hopefully I don't screw it up.
I might talk to Phil next time he jumps in a Hangout to see what he might recommend. He's a bit of an artist.
Oh, yeah. That he is. That he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Kerr's got on there. Just tell her you're expanding the layout.
Well, if he's such an artist, you think he'll come over here and paint my wall for me?
No.
No, because I couldn't even get him to come down here and paint my clouds on the way to John's house to have him do work over there and have smoked rib dinner.
And then head down to Florida for Curtis's house.
But yeah, you could see, it's my valance is painted, it's in black. I decided because I wanted to darken out the room some more, so the lights just focus strictly on the layout. I ended up painting the ceiling, so now that I actually look at it in this photo, it actually don't look half bad.
What, did you paint the ceiling black too, or?
Yep, I'm gonna try to go for that museum quality effect.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was just shedding too much light, from the ceiling. So that's why I was trying to figure out how can I get all that light to stay, mainly focus on the layout, and so it was something I wasn't sure if it would work. Tried it. Now that I see it, yeah, it actually did work.
Well, I don't know if you've seen Troy's. Got to turn my mic on before I start talking. Troy's got the balance up on his to, do the same thing when he's got the lights on. It really makes the layout pop.
Right. Yeah, see, I haven't seen Troy on here on any of them in a long time, and somebody said that you won't see him now till fall.
Yeah, he's usually not in here. He's got other summer month hobbies he does and all.
Right.
Look what we got here. Mr. Glenn from Australia. How you doing? Uh-oh. We have your audio is all digital. Yeah, we can't understand a word. Well, Glenn's working on that. Well, I mean, doing that like that, Dave, having the black up there, that really makes your layout pop. It
Well,
brings it to the front, makes it very visible.
right. Yeah, and that's why I said I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not. And now that I've seen it, okay, I'll go get the black curtains for the lower part of the layout, cover up underneath it. And, okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have to.
Are you using different colored LEDs up in the valance, or
I
is it?
have I have that rope light that's up there, and I could program that thing for any color I want. Bad part is this isn't the cheap Chinese one that I bought that I was talking to Troy about. This is actually supposed to be a medium to sort of a high grade from Walmart, and they come in 16 feet sections, and I bought 3 of them, and they're a little pricey. Bad part is about every 10 or 12 LEDs, when it's on the daylight, it shows red and green. They're starting to burn themselves out.
Huh.
So, but I have 3 ribbon rails of the cheap LED ones that I bought from China, um, that I'm going to run on there, where they're also programmable, but I can also program them for the soft white or the full daylight, sunrise, different things, and that's where I was hoping that with the storm clouds, I might be able to simulate, since I'll have 3 sections, see if I can concentrate one section alone over by either the steel mill or up by the ore dock, and have you simulate a storm, where it's flashing.
Yeah.
So,
There's a company out there that does have some LEDs for that. You put them up in the backdrop there, and paint around them. It gives you the lightning strikes, but I can't think of the name of it right now. Bob was showing it to us one night in the regular hangout,
right.
and yeah, they were pricey as everything, but it really looked pretty decent. It made it look like you have lightning up in the clouds there.
Right, right.
Where they would flash and all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get a little bit more creative with my clouds and put a few more up in there, because it just doesn't. Now that the backdrop is painted, it just doesn't look like there's enough clouds in that stormy areas, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of touch up on that.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's small railroading.
oh yeah.
You do some in one area, and then you gotta go back and add more to another.
Yeah,
It's a balancing act, trying to get it to
right.
where you want it.
Yeah, now I got this whole wall back here above my helix and the cutout, and then where the door jamb is, I got to paint all that jet black because up here I plan on putting my monitor for JMRI and then tucking all the wires back up in my closet above the helix.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I could at least just turn around and be like a dispatch board, see what's going on, and so.
Painting that black, that'll help make that jet out there post or whatever that is.
Oh yeah, this is
disappear.
Yeah, it needs to. It really does, and that's why I'm gonna come down. I still got the masonite here. I've got to come right down the corner, right here, all the way down, and mount it flush against the foam here, so that way it's sort of it'll cover up the edge. You won't see it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, there's a few things still yet to do, though.
Always is.
Oh, your water come out perfect.
Oh, thanks. Oh, you mean the one for the
yeah, or docks and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know if I got a picture up there now with the boat there or not.
Thought I saw one.
Oh. I thought I had one up here. I mean, the one that I do have is one here in front of the Helix.
That's one I saw.
Yeah, the one now I actually have the boat sitting in here. It's temporary, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I took one and posted it. And you can see I'm working on, just like Bill, working on my cards for operations. So that way everything hopefully will come together in about the same time.
I want to run a boat.
Might be able to run around the boat.
Is that a marker mark?
Yeah. Yep.
So, how's the audio now, Glenn?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah. Just had a microphone on the wrong setting.
Yeah. You can unpresent me now.
Yeah, I can, can't I?
Yeah, I can't do it.
So what's going on in Australia, Glenn?
Well, it's supposed to be the middle of winter, and it's 28 degrees here today, centigrade.
That'll make it about almost 90, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's been crazy. We've only had a few weeks of cold weather, but we've had very few days where it's dropped below 20 C. And the nights, like usually we get the warm days, but we get the cold nights. But even the nights are still above 10 C, so it hasn't got really cold. We've only had a few nights where it's dropped below 10 C. Yeah. But yeah, today it's 28 degrees.
Yeah.
Crazy. But August is usually our coldest month. We usually get the westerly winds blowing in August, and that usually cools things down. So we're just waiting to see what's going to happen in the next week or two. But other than that, not much happening down here.
I was fixing to ask if you've been over to Glenn's or running anybody else's layouts lately, or?
Yeah, I was at Stu's MRL layout 2 weeks ago.
I meant to say Greg instead of Glenn. I'm looking at your camera here.
No, yeah, we're waiting to try and get a day with Greg, but it's just his work schedule,
Yeah.
Because because they have a lot of track closures on the weekends, so he's got to work. So, but we're organising a day. But we usually have the first Sunday of each month at Stu's layout. So usually get 4 or 5 of us there. So I'm hoping in the next one we're gonna shoot some videos. So yeah, it should be look, because he's done a fair bit of work since the last video he's posted. Yeah. So,
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah. So and I'm just about ready to start my N-scale build. I've got all the timber for the bench work. I've got all the ply now. I just got to finish cleaning the room out, finish painting it, and then I'll be starting on my layout.
That'll be good. You're doing N scale too, right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what line was it again?
Just Australian line. This is going to be my own layout, QR Outback.
Oh, okay.
I got quite a few locos that Ron painted up for me. So I've got those, and I've got a heap of other locos here which I haven't. I'm not sure what scheme I'm going to paint them in yet, or whether I'll just leave them in their colours that they are with the UP, BNSF, Conrail or whatever, and just patch them over.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with those, but yeah. So if I decide to paint them in my colours, I think I've got about 18 locos that need painting.
Woo!
So I think my local roster up at the moment is up around 36, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to start, and yeah, it's good to go up to Stu's place once a month and run some HO trains up there. I've got 4 HO locos of my own up there now, so like Stu says, I'm a dual scaler now.
Yeah. I don't have it right off. Can you give us Stu's link so if anybody wants to go look at his channel?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'll get the link, and I'll
well, if
I'll
you put it in the
up.
chat, nobody sees it. If you can just go ahead and tell us over the mic.
Yeah,
this is a recorded show, so that way they'll still get it.
It's Teddy Bear 11 Team.
Teddy Bear 11 TEEN.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Hey.
I need to jump off here, man, and I sure appreciate the letting me on here tonight. I need to bug out early.
All right. Yeah, appreciate you coming on.
You guys all have a good night.
All right, you too.
You too.
Good night, brother.
All right, so anybody wants to check out another Australian modeler, that website was Teddy Bear 11 Teen, you said? TEEN.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
On YouTube.
Yep.
Of course, we got Greg, the Fishplate Films there. We need to get Ron busy again, putting videos up. I know he's busy with work too, so.
Yeah. So I think you might see a little bit more action from Ron after Christmas.
Oh, okay. That'll be good.
So I shan't say no more, but there could be some big changes coming up. So if it happens what he wants to happen, you'll start to see a lot more of him.
All right, that's good. I got a comment up here, or a question, comment type thing from Shane Mason. Hey, y'all. I was wondering if anyone has used the new Tsunami 2 decoder yet. I'm going to buy one to play with, but was looking for first opinions. So, anybody messed with the new Tsunami decoder?
No, I seen somebody did a review on it the other week, and they were saying it was looking really good. I can't think who it was. I seen somebody posted something about it.
Oh, okay.
I just put a link up in the chat box that takes you to Stu's layout too.
All right. Yeah, I can't present the chat box from here.
Okay.
I got the Q&A up and running, so.
I mean, oh, sorry, it's in the Q&A box.
Oh, is it? No, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, if you're typing there, you're typing in the chat. You're not in the Q&A.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you're on the show panel. Well, what I'll do is, just before I shut the show down, if you would, I'll let you go out and then come back on the Q&A link.
Yep.
That way you can type it in there and it'll show up in the recorded show.
Okay, yeah.
And people can go check out Stu's channel. Yeah, I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
Yeah. He's been doing a lot of loco rebuilds at the moment. He's been rebuilding some older thin blue box units.
Uh-huh.
Putting Kato motors in them and re-gearing them, doing a whole lot up and putting decoders in them. Yeah, so he's been busy with that, and plus he's started on his next expansion part of the layout. So that's going to be good. But he's got 90% of his staging yard finished now. He's got 8 tracks in the staging yard, and one goes elsewhere. But the staging is big. You can hold trains up to 23 feet long.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It was the other week, a couple of months ago, we couldn't video it because none of us had our cameras charged up. But we ran a train with 94 cars on it.
Wow.
We had
how many engines did you have?
We had 4 on the front, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the arse end.
Yeah.
So so we had to break it up into 2 to get it in the staging.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, he's got a great layout. Yeah, when he gets it all finished, he's starting to do a bit more. He's put a couple of extra sidings, industrial sidings in, so he's kit bashing a few kits and things that he's got there at the moment, and he's going to start on that. Yeah, but it's a great layout to go and run. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
We just we worked it out. To do a proper op session on there, we need a minimum of 6 people there to do it properly. So so we're gonna try and organise a big run day later on in the year and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
He can still. Can he still operate the railroad by himself?
Yeah. Yep. He can put trains on to run around the main line. Yeah. And that's what he does when he's working down there. He just picks a couple of trains out and puts them on and lets them run. Yeah. But,
I built my layout to design to run the railroad to operate as a lone wolf, and then I can have people come over.
Yeah.
I can actually run my whole training sessions though as a sequence list.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Well, that's sort of what I'll be doing on my in-scale layout. You know, everything will be drive-through, so there'll be no. I'm not really into the big operations of breaking up trains and putting them around. I usually just like to set them up and run them. So um, on my new in-scale layout, everything will be drive-through.
Yeah, run around rather than point to point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Stu's is run around, but it's got a lot of industry, and the staging's off one side, and so you can do a fair bit on his, but mine will be sort of just running. Like I'll be able to just eventually set it up and just set the trains to run,
Yeah.
hopefully on their own.
Yeah, John, this fellow that I'm helping, we're building him a layout. We're actually fixing to physically get started on this thing here pretty soon. But it's a runaround. But he likes yards, pass through yards. So Bill Track Planner did a plan for me on that, and he's got a yard that's I think 5 tracks. Yard is about 14 feet, 15 feet long, and it's a runaround type. When you get on the peninsula, he's got a little bit of industry on one side. Go around the view block, you got a small town there on the end of the peninsula, and a little bit more industry switching going down. Come around to a farm scene to get to the wall, and then you just do a run around on the wall, with a few little freight houses here and there to make stops at, drop a car or two off at. Then he comes back around, back into the yard again.
Does he have a staging yard too?
No. Well, yes, he does. Only got 3 feet from the end of the layout over to the end of the room. So put a 2-track staging yard over there. He's got about 3 feet there that he put a few cars off in there.
It reminds me, kind of Insprandio did a track plan for Mile Railroad where he just had some small industries and then a yard and then back into staging. And it was all about yard operations.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I just got to drop out for a little while. I've just got somebody's arrived here, so I'll try and get back in a bit later on, okay? It's good to catch up with you all.
Yeah, I tell you what, Glenn, if you could, go ahead and pop right back in on the Q&A.
I'll put that link up, yeah.
Put the link up for me because, I think I'll probably be shutting down in about maybe 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. All right, been good to catch up with you, Johnny, and I'll pop out now and put that link in, and I'll hopefully catch you on the next one.
All right, appreciate it, Glenn.
Bye.
I mean, anytime you want to jump in regular Hangout, come on in.
Yeah, mate, yeah, it's just a matter of matter of time. It usually works out the wrong time for me. Okay.
I know.
Okay. Bye.
Appreciate it. Good to see you again.
See you.
So what are you doing there in Newcastle?
Earlier I was right now the basement pretty much smells like paint because we were painting one of the rooms. Tonight I was looking at some projects, future planning, and another thing I was looking at pictures of my prototype.
Okay, because
Railroad.
you got yourself presented twice here.
Yeah, it's my computer fired. It's my computer on one and my phone on the other. My phone's got the mic and I got the thing on here.
Yeah, okay.
This is CP Lum here. right here is CP Lum. It's on NS Cleveland on NS's Fort Wayne line. When they abandoned the yard further into town, they decided to move around the 60s, move the crossovers out here. And about a year ago, they threw the sign in the scrap pile, the sign for the control point from Conrail. I actually took it home. There's me standing right in front of the signal and showing the sign.
Yeah, I see the signal, but
Yeah, there's me with the Lum 57.
oh, okay.
These are some old steam pictures, really old ones. Mostly in Sebring. There's a really big. This is Conway Yard. I scratch built this building right here on my home layout. There's a freight house, and in my by my grandma's house. I've rail fanned this nowadays. Another thing, even if you have a lot of steam equipment and you're switching to, or few steam equipment and you're going to a modern day prototype, keep some of that, put it on a rusty band track, or put it in next to where they don't have it used. Like this, I think is used by the fire department for storage now. Just create realistic history.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What yard was
There's
that?
Oh, that was Conway Yard. This is Conway Yard is. Wait, find a good picture. Find a picture. Here's the top of the hump. This is actually the first hump yard. This was the first hump yard, and this was pretty much the big hump yard in Pittsburgh, and this sent all the traffic from Youngstown, Pittsburgh, and everything, Chicago, all this came through here before it went up to Johnstown and then over the Horseshoe Curve. This is what I'm trying to model on one side of my layout, just the freedom part. My Papap actually worked here. I kind of have family history, and all my layouts have featured Conway Yard. There's another. If it clicks over, make 2 minutes though. This is another picture of Conway Yard right here with all the houses above it. It pretty much covered 2 or 3 towns, actually 2. Pretty much Conway and Freedom, and then the endpoints were Conway, and then actually the middle was Freedom, and then I forget the other town though. Yeah, so my pad worked here. My past pharmacy was up here on the road into town, and I modeled that. Most of this is all gone now. The yard is still there, but most of the one part of the town, the one town actually got demolished because the highway. They wanted to actually the route there. They wanted to make it more lanes.
Yeah.
And there's a concrete bridge that I'm going to model on my HO section. And so the different stuff, that's one of my prototypes. Looking at some of the prototype pictures, I have a little archive on my computer, a little bit of everything I'm trying to model. Dave might think this is interesting. Right, if I bring, now it's up. Actually, pull it up to bigger picture. This is a playground. It was in front of the steel mill before it was a big company. Wait a minute, it's wait, pause. Just pause that. Yeah. This was a steel mill before it was a big company. The little steel mill that owned it actually built a playground. for them, and they kept working in the company, and they actually, the brick building right next, they wouldn't let this nowadays. Definitely not, though. The blast furnace is right there. Though, right here in there was actually a black and white theater, and play and everything previous, and there was play set and everything, and this was a local little playground for all the steel mill workers, kids, and everything, and this yeah, this is what I'm trying to model. One of the scenes I'm trying to model on my home layout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that the steel mills in their infancy used to go ahead and have little cities. As long as you were an employee there, you were allowed to live there, you know. And then they did away with a lot of those in the 40s and 50s. But I never knew they had a playground.
Yeah,
Like the
this
camp
one
town.
steel.
You'll have to send me a link to that photo if you can remember where you got it from, because I really would love to be able to print that out and throw
Yeah,
that in
it's
folder.
on Historical Society's website. I'll just bring it up. I always read their articles. So
Yeah, I never seen anything like that.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
So
it was in.
so were the steel cities kind of like mining camp towns? Did they have stores and housing, and were they little cities under themselves like the coal
Yeah,
mine?
Yep. They were right on the outskirts of the steel mill. Generally within a block or two, that's where they started. And the last one that closed up was in, I believe, the mid 50s, out in, God, I want to say near Bethlehem.
Yeah,
Um,
that had kind of went away in the coal mining communities, while people still lived residentially nearby. The camp stores and all that stuff kind of went away by the late 50s, early 60s, and then the houses stopped being coal mine owned, and they started selling them off to their employees.
yep.
And there's a lot of great modeling potential. The camp towns are some of my favorite modeling on, those little repetitive houses and stuff are just very conducive to modeling.
yeah. It's pretty interesting. It's there's an old country song that I owe my life in to the company store. Pretty much that was what it was. There was, you pretty much own your life to the company store. A lot of times those company towns. The sloths
Well,
closed.
in the coal mining communities, they often paid their employees in camp money, and the camp money was only good at the company store. So you were getting paid money that you couldn't just take the Sears and Roebuck uh, without having it converted. You weren't getting paid in U.S. currency, or a lot of them weren't getting paid in U.S. currency. They were getting paid in camp coins.
Yeah, it's the countries have. This country has changed over the years. And there's a lot of interesting thing in the railroads and everything. There's always, every time I do research, there's something interesting to model again, and that's what I like modeling in the past. Like right here on my picture, it's actually my Google page picture too. Oh darn it! Back, pause this way, pause back. Though right here is Sloss Furnace. Not Sloss Furnace. That's, I'm thinking of Sloss Furnace right now. Different. My head goes I'm always thinking of something. Though this is Smith Ferry. This was a transfer pretty much facility from the barges on the Ohio River to trains to head them down to Youngstown, Ohio. They hauled for 1 year, if I remember. They hauled more coal than N&W and PRR. And this was just pretty much a little tower and a crane, and they would lift the coal up, shove it on this passing siding under there past the passing sidings and this was on a branch line. It would run around again and pretty much cross the diamond on the Pensy and then head down to Youngstown. Clock is top, close up the second word, I'll say. Yeah, this was from 1935. I think that's the first crane or the second crane. It was updated later on.
I love that facility, and you showed me a picture once of this facility modeled in O-scale 2 rail, I think, or possibly HO.
Yep.
And that, you should show a picture of that if you have a picture handy, because that's an exceptional model.
Yeah, wait a minute. I think actually I do. This is a different guy. I'm actually going to model it, though more freelance. He modeled it more prototype. Because I want to put my coke ovens right behind there. I don't have as much room to model two different areas. I'm going to do my that coal unloading facilities, and my coke ovens behind it. Instead of loading into the standard gauge cars, it's going to load to the narrow gauge cars first. What? Here, right? Wait a minute. Hold up and pause. There it is. That's the guy that did an O scale. He's a director, and he's actually the guy behind Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yeah, he actually owns the original train. They were both friends. This is his layout, and it's really cool. It's modeling my prototype, one of my prototypes, and going from his Youngstown behind there all the way around a loop. Though it's got industries, and it's just actually it's probably a two-man person crew. And what you do is he actually has a car box in just one town, and then in the yard, and then you see what the cars, and then everything goes up there. And that's the interchange yard behind there. For me, one thing I wanted to design my railroad, I also wanted a loop operation, partly because my dad's a looper, my stepdad. Though I also wanted, when I ran my trains by myself, I also wanted one train running around the loop on one side, and then I could run the branch line, the Youngstown Southern, run it like a railroad when I have a train running around the other loop. And there's his track plan. If it switches over, takes a couple minutes. There, that's it. That's his track plan right there. Pretty much, I have all his pictures in here. I put it on my computer, and that's his track plan. There's Smith Ferry. This is Youngstown. Goes down here to Boardman, and then up to Smith Ferry, and then around the loop again. And that was in the prototype. This was interurban, partly interurban. The Pittsburgh Coal Company bought the interurban, then built a branch to Smith Ferry. So they said to the government, "We're only hauling passengers because they got a tax. It's a tax, less of a tax. It's on my tongue. Yeah, though they cheat the government by this, and that's the first railroad that did it. Then it came under P&LE, PRR. P&LE, most people say it never went to Lake Erie. P&LE actually owned so much joint ownership lines. They owned Erie second sub, and that's how they got their ore. This is the PRR and the P&LE. And they pretty much, this was, after that, this was one of the last interurban in Ohio, too. Though, after that, there was a couple short lines, and one time a short line bought the company, though they said they were going to operate it, though they were actually going to scrap it. And now it's owned, I think, Port Authority, local port authority. And somebody's laying on it. Sometimes I, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Exit. There. I have so many different pictures. I download everything. So, yeah. It's also, it had plans one time to build all the way to Pittsburgh, and then another plan would have built it to Erie on another line, and that actually went to Cherry Valley. Really, most steel mills, most people say they closed around the 50s for up past their 60s. Though actually they started closing during the Great Depression, and this is one of them. The right in front was a coke ovens, and it's now a park. It was the largest coke oven site in Ohio, and this is called Cherry Valley. And these are all coke ovens you get to walk through and stuff. So all it makes it interesting operations. Remember I was talking about the club one time? This is my club layout, my O gauge one at the club, right here. So we're in the Campfield War Museum, though. Yeah, though we actually model coal operations. So what I wanted is we have a coal unloading facility to the boats. I always say to my tours, these are going to Smith Ferry, and then I start talking about Smith Ferry. That's why I wanted to show you that picture. The Smith Ferry is kind of a local history that's really not known by where my grandma lives. That, yeah. Though Andy sounds like he's on the voice mode on his phone or something.
Yeah, I am doing Hangouts at 80 miles an hour for the next about 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I had a really fast question, though. When you were at the Nationals, did you get to see the Operation Roadshow?
No, that's part of the kind of mess of the NMRA, and I hadn't been to an NMRA convention in years, and it was done differently, and I just had forgotten, and it may have just been done differently. What I did wrong was went, bought tickets, and enjoyed the show. But there's so much more to the show if you pre-buy the tickets, pay the higher price as part of the NMRA association, as opposed to just the convention. So next year it's in Orlando, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to buy my tickets in winter. As soon as
Yeah,
the
only problem I see with Orlando is I also didn't even want to rain there. Though the other thing, the only problem I see with that, it's in a place where you can't find basements. That means less operating layouts.
Yeah,
and that's really what
nice,
I wanted. If
Tom Wilson, and so there's two Appalachian modelers within about 20 miles of each other. Tom Wilson's P&VE, and there's another one, the Southwestern. It's one that models the Norton, Virginia area, like that borders what I model. There's two.
On Train Masters, is this the guy on Train Master TV? That's a.
They have done a review of him on Train Masters in the early days of Train Masters TV, where they talked about his loadouts. He custom builds all of his coal facilities. That's one of them, and then there's Tom Wilson, two guys. So I will buy my tickets early enough next year that I can get in on the operations. I'm also a part of OPSIG.
The one thing you have to sign up after, like when you get there.
Yep. Well, you got to sign up. They were sold out for $2 before the convention this year. So if I wanted to get in on an op session or the Operation Roadshow, I would have had to have my tickets by April or so. So and signed up on the list to do it. So next year I will be doing that. Cocoa Beach, which is also close to Orlando, it's an hour away or so, is widely recognized as one of the top couple RPMs and Rail Pro operations groups. So there's some great operating layouts down there anyway that they're used to regular operating sessions. so I will be better prepared.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I had some other family plans this year though. I don't know about next year. I don't know. Depends
But
on
I'll
the
budget more
budget. It's pretty
money for
expensive.
longer. It is, and I'll budget more money. It is expensive, but I'll budget more money so I can, I mean, Johnny really showed me up this year. I just couldn't go in there like and buy the place out like he could. So I'll
I didn't buy it out.
I'm just messing around, but just pumping you up, brother. Yeah, you couldn't leave them Model Railroad women long enough, leave them long enough to buy anything. But next year I'll really be a lot better prepared. What are you thinking, Johnny, about Orlando? That's pretty close to you, right?
Yeah, it's probably yeah, it's a little bit closer than Indianapolis, but
You want to try to do that one? It's a little early to commit to it for any of us, but
yeah, I don't know.
NMRA was kind of I wouldn't call it a letdown. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed running around with you, Johnny, and I enjoyed, our dinner we had and all the, I enjoyed all that. But I would like to go to a convention other than an NMRA now. I want to go to the St. Louis RPM that's coming up soon. RPM's made more suit by style. They're more, they're prototype model beats. That's what, railway prototype models, RPM. So it's more
Yeah,
of my speed.
yeah. The train show is pretty much a big letdown. I always said the one time I went down there, I said I wouldn't pay for that or do anything like that weekend. I wouldn't go up
I want to
because
go
it's
to Amherst or Trade Fest in Milwaukee, which is where Combat Publishing, my railroader, Walters started and is still there in Milwaukee. So Trade Fest in Milwaukee, or everything I hear says Amherst is the show in the world. It's the show.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of leaning a lot more towards Amherst.
Me too. It's just such a bad time of the year, but
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see.
My I'm more. I think the best Fremo module layout I ever seen is probably the Operation Roadshow. It just doesn't look. Don't really.
It's not designed for cosmetic and scenery, although it's not bad. It's headlane track, custom turnouts, stuff like that. But all the pictures I've seen of it recently show signals that are incomplete. They're just, temporary in. It is more about showing TT&TO operations than it is about being a high fidelity or super realistic model railroad.
I like the back. Like if Fremo would do backdrops, really. If a Fremo layout would do backdrops, I would like it a little bit more better. I don't like the module layouts, even though my division is a module layout group. You probably saw it there. They were at the Nationals this year, though. I'm just not really. I would like to have a backdrop on a Fremo module and do Fremo.
Well, Operations Roadshow does have a backdrop. They do a very interesting thing where they build a 3-foot module or 30-inch module, and they have a backdrop down the center of it and tracks on either side, giving you the most linear run, which is required for TT&TO operations. A lot of modelers getting into operations talk about TT&TO, but it's very hard to accurately model timetable and train order without having a pretty excessive mainline. So I'm doing it on my layout, but it requires me getting, up close to around 300 feet. Mainline is a minimum for TT&TO. It's not the length of the mainline, it's the time. You've got to have the time for stuff to happen.
Yeah, anybody that's building a small layout, like if you want TT&TO, I would say a single town maybe with a staging yard. So if you're building a small layout with a couple towns, I would recommend just going with a manual block or some kind of interlocking signal system, or just manual block for a older era like 1950s, 40s manual block territory. And actually, that's probably the simplest signal system you can set up, manual block. It's pretty much a signal by the station, and you just operator sets it by toggle switches from green, from red to yellow to green. And passenger trains are not allowed to run through a yellow light, and they're not allowed to be followed any trains behind passengers trains, though freight trains can be followed by a yellow indication. Though I actually have the pictures of the last year's the when they were in Cleveland actually up on my computer right now, and it's the only. This is actually one of my jobs that were on the layout. I operated this gravel pit, and it was operational loaded gravel. You actually filled up a cup, and then you poured it through a chute. I'm still thinking about. This was my only experience so far with actually working with a layout with a scale on there, with a scale ticket. I'm still debating if I even want to go that far in weights and like just modeling just ticket for the weight, or just fill out the weight on the weigh bills and just say you gotta stop at that locations. I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna operate on my layout with that.
Yeah, I'm going to simulate fuel, water stops, coal stops, all by time.
I do.
I'm going to do traction control. So, those. I'm not going to get crazy, but I think they add some enjoyment.
Yeah, I'm gonna like do 1 minute for each stop, though for my 10 by 12 room, it means a longer operating session. And also, those stops add up. You get to look at your way bills or plan your next move in your head when you're waiting for your train to depart.
Yeah, they help
And
you
it
with
gives you.
trade lines, and they help you with smaller rooms. Give a least amount of people. I can't get a whole lot of people in my room, so I've got to give them a lot to do because I don't have 20 people to operate. You couldn't fit them in there.
Yeah, my problem was I put enough to do, though it took up a little bit of my aisleway space. So
well, I made the typical sacrifice of hurting the aisleways in favor of more trade. So
yeah, my aisle standards is 2 back-to-back operators pretty much. If you want to pass somebody, you have to turn sideways.
Yeah, my aisles are 2 feet down each side of the peninsula, and then I have a spillway at the end of the peninsula that's 3 foot wide. So if you get down in that little hole beside the peninsula, which is only 5-6 feet deep, you walk down into that hole and let somebody else down in there operate. You've got to kind of back out of the spillway and let them in. It's just a compromise I got to make. I mean, I just don't have enough room, and I got a 15 by 15 foot roof that I will get around 280 feet of main line and around 60 feet of branch line, or 75 feet of branch line track into, without double dipping into a seam. Trains only going through a seam one time, and about 70 feet of the clinch field. And so to fit that much railroad into that smaller room, there's got to be some sacrifices somewhere.
Yeah, and another thing, do you have any diamonds on your railroad that are dummies? I know most railroads went with bridges in the mountains, though. Do you have any dummy tracks of diamonds?
No, everything is live. So I have a crossover going across a single slip where the clinch field crossed the N&W on a single slip. All 4 directions out of that slip are active. The clinch field goes into staging in about 8 feet from one side and about 20 feet the other side, and then the N&W is all the way through. But all four directions of that are active, and there are 2 Ys on the layout. All 3 legs of those Ys are active. There's 4 branch lines. All 4 of those are active, even though 2 of them just headed to staging, just very shortly. You know, 3 or 4 feet during staging. But
The
because
reason why I
everything's
asked
awkward.
is because I always thought if I did right now I have an active diamond on my layout, though if I ever did a just piece of track with a diamond on it, I would have the signals wired to a toggle switch, though I would have like you know how they have the situation cards, so instead it's going to say 10 minutes you have to hold here for a train to pass through this diamond, and then you can throw the clear line and proceed. And
Yeah, I've also seen that done with a timer. So every so often, the timer will put that signal into block mode, even though there's no train can go through it because it's running off the edge of the fascia at 6 inches. But every so often, the timer will put that signal red. So,
yeah,
and
I thought
another
that
way to
would be
operate it,
interesting with JMRI.
well, that's not hard to do either. You can do that with just an Arduino hooked to JMRI on a activity timer. You can do that with the logic. So it's easy to do with JMRI. But you can do it without doing JMRI pretty easy too, just a timer. Also, I've seen it done, especially on very small switching layouts, to where it was just a mandatory stop. Every time you come to that crossover, it was mandatory stop.
Yeah, it creates a delay. It creates a time longer run for railroad too for those.
Alright, I need to interrupt here. Looks like I'm starting to have internet problems, so if y'all don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down before I get cut off and can't do anything with it. So, Jason, you want to volunteer for an after show?
I can start it.
Yeah, if you just get started. You about home, Andy?
Yeah, I'm in the house right now. So is somebody firing an after show?
Well, you want to fire one?
I will. I'll have it up in just a minute.
All right.
Real quick, got a comment here from the professor. How you doing, Professor? Hadn't seen you for a while. Who needs signals? Many diamond interchanges on short lines use manual gates to block the inferior road.
Yeah, that's what my railroad right now has. I'm thinking about putting signals there just because it'll act with my signal system, or I'm gonna make it with my gate to one railroad signaled and one's partly going to be signaled. I'm thinking about that's gonna be one of the part spots where it'll be signaled. My other spot is the lift bridge.
All right. Well, tell you what. Andy will have a show up in just a minute or two, so you can go check on the communities page for that link there for the after show.
Yep, I see you guys over there.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some more messages on my screen about my internet connection, so I'm sure it's probably this computer on its last legs. But
You're close to getting a new computer, so.
yep, it won't be long. It's getting there. Let's see if I can get this stuff screen shared here. Alrighty, folks. Sorry about the early shutdown, but I'm having technical difficulties here. Oh man, hopefully I can get this shut down okay before I get booted out of here. But want to say keep checking in on the YouTubeModelBuilders.com website for all the latest news and info on Tuesday night presentations, the EMAG, and the live show schedules. The live show is once every month. The EMAG is bi-monthly. The Tuesday presentations are pretty much every other week now. We just had one this week. And then Thursday's general hangouts are each week as well. You can go to YouTubeModelBuilders.com. There you'll see Tuesday presentations, EMAG, and the live show if you click on each one of those, it'll bring a drop-down box to where you can check the schedules for those shows. Last Saturday, we just had a live show. Barry and I did that show. Big Bill had a out-of-state commitment he had to go to, so that was with Steve Montgomery, which was a really good show. Barry just had a Tuesday night show this week that he and Mike did on workbenches. Then the EMAG also just came out last week, and that's on railroad modeling artists, people that are doing paintings or drawings on various railroading subjects. That was a good EMAG too. So, but yeah, on the EMAG section, if you click on that, if you hadn't already done so, you can sign up for a notification when the EMAG comes out. It is PDF, so it allows you to be able to view it and read it on a number of different devices wherever you might be at. I want to say thank you for participating in tonight's Hangout. On the panel, we've had Mr. Newcastle, Jason, Hillbilly, Railroad, Scott. Jim was here. We got paid a visit by Mr. Glenn in Australia. It was good seeing him again. Dave was here for a while. Of course, they had to leave out. Yeah, they have day jobs. I want to say thank you, Professor, for coming in on the Q&A. Dave, good to see you again. Glenn did post in the Q&A after he left Stu's layout in Australia. You might want to go check that one out. See what you think about his. He's got a nice layout. Ron, well, appreciate it. Curtis, thank you for coming in. And with that said, I think we'll put this one in the can for the night. I want to say thank you for viewing tonight, both the panel and the Q&A. And turn your screen share off, Newcastle. So, y'all have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Goodbye.
Good night.